All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Season 3, Episode 36, a little NHL, NBA playoff uh, recap, preview of the first round, some going into their second round matchups. Just me and Mackie this week. No Jesse, no Ace, just the two of us. Mackie, give yourself a little intro, and we'll get right into it for some of this playoff topics we got lined up.
Yeah, the NHL and NBA playoffs are kind of in full swing now. Rangers looked good, obviously with the 4-0 sweep in the first round, but a lot to dive into in these playoffs. There've been some really good series so far, and a few upsets as well. So we'll look into those.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll jump right into the NHL. Obviously, like you said, your Rangers 4-0 series sweep over the Capitals. Obviously, yeah, it's hard to pull good and bad things from a 4-0 sweep. It can't get much better than that. It can't, but we're going against Carolina next round. What would you say is one thing that you watch, because I know you watched all 4 games in that series, one thing that you're like Carolina could capitalize on us in this way?
I see. I don't want to say we did anything wrong because you really don't do much wrong in a 4-0 series sweep. But I mean, going into that series, you probably had them winning the series in four. I think I had them winning the series in four. I mean, they were
Yeah,
supposed to win that series in four. So basically,
they just handled business.
they got the job done, exactly. They took care of business, they did what they needed to do. Was it the nicest, hockey that I've ever seen? Absolutely not. I mean, they really never dominated any game. They were obviously the better team in every game, but they never dominated at any point where we were like, "Holy shit, like, this team is it shouldn't even be here." Whereas if you looked at the Carolina, Islanders series, Carolina outshot them, like, triple in some games, like,
And every time
insane.
the Islanders got a lead, I'll just say this one now because obviously these are the two teams playing each
Right,
other.
right.
Hurricanes defeat the Islanders 5 games series. Comes to a wrap on Tuesday night in a 6-3 Hurricanes win on home ice. Carolina's, like we said, looked dominant despite taking the series or taking 5 games to win that series. Let New York win, what was it, double overtime? That's the most gentleman
Yeah, I
sweep
mean,
of all time. The lower seed wins the overtime game in double or triple
keep them
overtime.
alive for an extra 2
Yeah,
days.
exactly. Carolina gets to go back to home ice to lock this up. Obviously, Hurricanes will take on your Rangers in the second round. What are you thinking? I know you're on the Rangers here. How many games do you think it's going to take? 6, 7?
I'm gonna say 7. I think that
Yeah,
I think both teams defend home ice for
I was
sure.
going to say, could you just see every team win their home games?
Yeah, but the Rangers have taken care of business against Carolina this year. That's the thing about this Rangers team is that they don't outplay anyone like insane. Like, they don't always look like the best team on the ice whenever they're playing someone, but they find ways to win games. They have 55 wins this year. They kept finding ways to get the job done and winning games. And that's what they did against the Capitals too. I mean, they didn't outplay the Capitals in every game, but they took care of business and found ways to win every single game. And I think they'll be fine against Carolina. I think there's going to be moments where we're going to be like, "Oh shit, we might be in trouble" because of the firepower that Carolina has, and we've seen that
The,
a
their
million
ability
times.
to score 2 goals in 9 seconds
Yeah,
twice in the series.
exactly.
That's
And the
crazy.
Rangers have had that problem with giving up back-to-back goals, um, a lot this season. But I mean, you got to trust the defense. You got to trust Igor. You got to trust the top six forwards, even top nine. The third line has been awesome for us. You got to trust these guys to get the job done, and I really think that they will. I think that Carolina chokes every single year. They don't have the depth that the Rangers have, and it's going to be a really good series. Don't get me wrong; I am scared for it, but I'm more scared for the Western or the Eastern Conference Finals pending who we play, but I'm assuming it's gonna be Florida.
Yeah, that's what I think too. We will get, obviously, like I said, I think I think that's a hell of a series. That's the one that I think most of us predicted. Getting the Hurricanes Rangers matchup in that second round. When's that start? Do you know when game one is?
No, but we're both done, so they were saying, like, as soon as possible, hopefully Saturday, probably Sunday,
I
but
bet I was gonna say probably Sunday.
it
That's a
could
little
even
more
be
realistic.
Monday. It could even be Monday, which would suck. It's over a week.
That's so long off.
Yeah, it is. But Carolina
That's
also has a pretty long break as well, so
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
but
gonna
like
be a great series for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah,
Who do you have
start.
it? Let's
I
hear who you have in it.
It's tough because like looking back at like rest the
I
Rangers are getting
understand. Listen, I
start.
understand if you say Carolina 100%.
I'm going with Carolina, but I'm deciding if I don't think I think Carolina has to win the series in 6 on home ice. If it goes back to MSG for Game 7, I think the Rangers have it.
Yeah, Carolina's in.
Carolina has to win games 1 or 2 in New York before even playing a home game to see if they're, you know what I mean. That's their only chance to win the series in 6.
Yeah,
You
100%.
got to
Because you're
win. You
not
got to
you're
win. It'd be nice if they get game 1, and you know what I mean. Obviously not for your sake, but for their sake, it'd be nice they get game one. They really don't have to worry too much about game two. You get back to Carolina with a 1-1 series. That's a win in your book. You know what I mean?
You take home ice from the Rangers here, and they're definitely in trouble.
Yeah.
100%.
Who has a better power play? Because I think that's going to come into play a lot in this series. These
Um,
are two teams that are just known for scoring power play goals.
I'm pretty sure the Rangers do, but dude, the Rangers like
And the Rangers also don't they have the top 3 penalty kill in the league?
yeah, they do. There our
Yeah.
special teams is what makes us though. Like if you want to go back and look at those games against Capitals, like 3 out of 4 goals were on special teams. Like we get shorthanded goals out the ass
Well, I was gonna
too.
say one was a shorthanded that
Yeah,
game.
we like most like the majority of our goals are special teams.
Yeah.
So the 5-on-5 could kill us, but I mean, I
No,
don't
I
know,
think
man.
you won't you like I don't see either team losing the series in less than 6 games.
Oh, it's going 6 games at
Yeah.
least, definitely.
Yeah.
No way it
But
doesn't.
is there a I bet I don't really care to look because it's so far in advance, but like I guarantee the over under for this series is probably set at is it ever set at even games? Like
I
could they
don't think
set it
so.
at
That's the
6?
problem with over under games is that what are you gonna do? Set it at 6.5? Like
Yeah,
that's
and just
like
bet it to go 7. Everyone's gonna take the under. You know
everyone's
what I
gonna
mean?
take the under, even if it's gonna go over. I mean, like
And they do
you can't set it
they'll
at six
do
and a
this will
half.
be at like yeah, this will be at like 5.5, but the over is gonna be like minus 250 or
I
something
was gonna
crazy.
say it's gonna be like minus 210 or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, the other side of the Eastern bracket, Florida defeats Tampa in 4 games to 1 as the series ended Monday in Fort Lauderdale with a dominating 6-1 series clinching victory. Panthers will await the winner of Aces, Boston Bruins, and Toronto for their second round matchup. Game 6 of the Leafs and Bruins tomorrow night. Back in Toronto. Um, Obviously, I think we were all on the Panthers there. You said 5, I said 6, just kind of respecting the Lightning a little bit. I think I did correct myself to 5 eventually. Um, this Panthers team is so good. They're going. I think they're going back to the East Conference Finals. I don't care who they get, Boston or Toronto. I'm big on this Florida team. I think whichever team they get between Carolina and the Rangers, that's going to be a hell of a series. This Florida team, they're just so fucking deep, dude. It's like as soon as that, like for Hagee, Reinhart, Barkov, like their power play, Tarasenko. It's just like they got names on names, and then you go down to like the fourth line, guys like Lomberg, like they just have that style of play that's so annoying to play against, and they're so good at it. Obviously, coming off a cup run last year, I think they're gearing up for another one. They didn't waste any time dealing with Tampa Bay. I think that's a big series to get done in 5 games because I think this Toronto Boston series is going back to Boston for Game 7.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. Let me get into the Panthers real quick. The last team that I want to see for sure. The star power up front. The thing about their stars up front is that they don't miss. Like they execute every
Reinhardt is
single
so good,
game,
dude.
dude. Reinhardt, Barkov had 2 last game before it was a blowout. He
Verhaeghe
already
has
had
all the
2.
game
Verhaeghe
winners.
had 1. Like this,
Kachuk, neither of us
we didn't
named
even
him.
name Kachuk, and that's crazy to think about because he's not even a top 3 forward on that team.
No,
Maybe top 3 impact, but
he's
I
the
mean,
biggest name, I'd say.
yeah, but like in terms of like
He's not the best
skill and
player.
like putting
Yeah,
the puck in the net, he's not top 3. Impact, that's a different story, but it's insane how deep this team is, and then they have Bobrovsky in net. I mean, like
yeah.
this is just
And
the
he's doing
last.
exactly what he did last year.
Yeah, exactly. But
It
yeah, I
is
think
crazy.
Florida gets to the Eastern Conference Finals. On the other side, it's a series. It's definitely a series. I kind of thought it was gonna be over in 5, but I mean, you pop that one you pop that one in overtime, and you're right back there. You get to go home for a game 6. Um,
That that overtime goal for Toronto obviously not only saved the season, but like that gives you so much juice and
dude,
fire under your ass in Game 6.
think about
And you're getting Matthews back.
Think about where the Bruins were last year. Up 3-1. Go to game 5. Go to overtime. You lose to the Panthers. What is like, dude, it's the same exact situation. And here's
I
the
liked
thing.
what I
I
texted in.
think
You go back to Hallmark.
I Okay, let's not even get into the goalies because if you don't play Swayman and you lose this series, I think Jim
Oh,
Montgomery should be fired. I don't
he's
care
fired,
how
dude.
good his 2 seasons were. You haven't gotten out of the
Yeah,
first round.
yeah,
Um, but I am gonna say the Bruins win this in 7. I really do think they do. And I
yeah.
said that the Leafs would have it in 7 before it got to 3-1. But I mean, I don't think the Leafs can go into Boston game 7 and get a win. I really don't. And when you have Swayman in net, I know Joseph Wall's playing really well for the Leafs as well, but can you really see a scenario where the Leafs go into Boston game 7 and get a win? They haven't beat Boston in a
I
series in 60 years.
Yeah, I also did. I originally said Boston in 6, so I did see this going back to Toronto for Game 6. Not the way that it's going. Um,
Yeah, you
I
didn't
just
expect it like this.
no, that all the momentum has shifted over to
Oh my
Toronto,
god.
and the fact that they got that win without Matthews, like if Matthews comes
Huge.
back and they get
Huge.
another early lead like they did in Game 5, I love this series to go 7. And who's the favorite? It has to be Toronto, like a -120.
In what, game 6?
Yeah,
I'll give you
Toronto has to be like slightly favored.
yeah, they're definitely favored in that game. They
-130,
are
maybe as deep as that.
minus 115, so it's tight. I mean, I also don't think Matthews is a go. Like, I think he's still
Dude,
gonna
you
be
gotta
questioned.
be a go in this game. How are you sitting
How
out?
do you sit out game 5? I mean, dude, he's gotta be down and out, dude, like,
Yeah, like
104 fever or something,
you
like,
gotta
he's
be
gotta
like
be
hugging the toilet, can't
yeah,
even put your
can't
skates on.
move, can't
Yeah.
move. But, I don't know, and whoever wins the series is just gonna probably in 5 games to the
Dude,
Panthers.
even if he could just dress and only go out on the power play.
I mean, dude, but what if he's that
Think
sick
of
and
a
he just,
roster
like,
spot. Yeah,
he has
imagine he
no
just
like, no strength, no power, he
yeah.
has
I know what you
nothing,
mean.
like,
Yeah.
dude, he's gotta be so down bad if he's just
They're
missing these
probably
playoff
pumping
games.
him with IVs and shit.
Yeah, for sure. But
He's getting that
you
yeah.
agree whoever runs into the Panthers, I mean, you just it's probably 5
Yeah,
games and
I
they're done.
think this is a crash course to run into an even better team in the
Yeah,
next
for
round
sure.
for either of these teams.
It's tough, but, this is definitely a great series. You know, Ace said it was gonna be 7 to begin with. I don't think he
He
thought it
did
would be
say yeah.
7 after 3-1, but,
No.
I think we're looking at another 7-game series.
Yeah, I do too. Let's jump out west. Colorado defeats Winnipeg in 5 games. The Avalanche won 4 straight after the Jets took game 1 of the series up in Winnipeg. Avalanche will await the winner of Vegas and Dallas for their second round matchup. What went wrong for your Western Conference champion Winnipeg Jets?
Alright, I
They,
did say it last week after I
no,
think it
you
was
did. I'm
1-1,
just fucking with
might
you.
have been 2-1,
You
but,
said it was over.
I
They
was like, yeah, I mean, this Avs team is so freaking good. They scored 5 plus goals in every single game in this series. Even the loss, they lost
they did the
7-6.
same thing last year too to Vegas. They won game 1 and then they lost 4 straight.
You
That's 2
might
years in a row they've done that.
and dude, Hellebuck, I mean, he's winning a Vezina this year, and he shit the bed completely. Like, I know it's the Avalanche, I know the star power up front, but, I mean, he did not look like he was letting in softies left and right too. But,
And like you said all year, like Ace kept saying that I don't know how far this team could go with Georgiev, and you're like, dude, he doesn't need to win games.
dude,
They're
they
gonna score
gave
5 goals a game.
I think they gave up, like 3.5 goals a game in this
And what
series,
they scored 5.4. Like they
more,
still won by
probably
every goal,
more,
but
probably
yeah.
more. It was
So
probably
game
like a
1 they
6.
scored 7.
No, they scored 6 in game 1, but they scored
Oh yeah,
6, 6, 5, 6. Like, it's, like, insane, dude. Like, this
over
team
five and a
is
half goals. Yeah.
yeah, this team has so much star power and so much and they just don't miss. Like,
Who's the guy that's on fire for them? Nichushkin, and who's the other one?
I don't know, is Rantanen. I haven't really
Lehkonen.
watched a lot of those
Arturi
games.
Lehkonen.
Oh, Lehkonen, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like, those aren't even top 3 players on the team.
No.
Like, you still have McKinnon, you still have Rantanen, you still have McCarr, who's been an
Lighting
offensive
it up.
firepower in
Yeah.
this series. I don't know. I mean, this Avs team is definitely they gotta be the favorites to win the West now.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause I know they had their problems at the end of this regular season, and everyone
They've
had their
clearly
doubts. I had my doubts, but this team just turned it on, man.
Yeah, they've clearly turned it around and fixed that problem. Like we said, Dallas, Vegas, all tied up in their series, 2 games apiece. Road teams have won every game this series as the series shifts back to Dallas tonight for Game 5. Who are you on tonight? Who do you think wins Game 5? Obviously, by the time people are listening to this game will have already happened. But Game 5, going back to Vegas in Game 6, who's going to have the 3-2 series lead?
Yeah, you're probably gonna disagree with me here because I know you like your Knights, but I think the Stars win 4 straight. I think that they just kinda handled business on the road. They got back into the swing of things. I think they take care of business at home tonight. I could see them losing a game 6, but I think the Stars kinda have the series wrapped up, even if it goes back to 7. It's giving me a lot of the same vibes as the Rangers Devils last year. Rangers win 2 on the road. Once you lose the 2 at home, I mean, dude, you're depleted. Like, you thought you had this series, and now you're sitting there and you don't have home ice anymore. Like, you just won 2 games on the road, and now you're sitting there with your dick in your
Yeah,
hand because you have to
yeah,
go on the road 2 more games against the number 1 seed in the West. I think the Knights are gonna have trouble winning this series for sure. I'm gonna go Dallas in 6, but could go 7.
yeah. I'm going to stick with Vegas in 7 in this series. I think I originally said 6. Wouldn't surprise me if they win this game tonight, but I think they will go home and handle business in Game 6 and at least force that Game 7. And like I said, Dallas loves losing Game 7 series. I could see that happen again. Vegas is just one of those battle tested teams. I think they could obviously get it done. Wouldn't be surprising to me if Dallas gets, like you said, wins 4 straight. like the Avalanche just did. They're obviously got the star power down there as well, the 1 seed in the West. I definitely could see Dallas win tonight, go home, home, and home. But I would like Vegas to win this series in 7 if it makes it there. Obviously, if they win tonight, I'd take them in 6. So it just kind of depends. A pivotal game 5, you'd hate to go home with your backs against the wall, but at least you're going back home with a chance to force game 7. But that's a hell of a series out there. I'm excited to watch this one. Another matchup in the West that we have tonight. The Edmonton Oilers lead the LA Kings 3-1. Chance to clinch the series in 5 games tonight as the series heads back to Edmonton for game 5. Can the Oilers close things out while and rest up while these Canucks and Predators wrap up their series, or is this going to be going back to Staples Center for game 6?
Yeah, we're both on the same side of this one, and it's actually on the card tonight, so you gotta hope that they get the job done. But I think the Oilers close it out. The only thing that scares me about this team is that they can just shit the bed anytime. Like
Yeah,
they did it. They did it in that one game in this
game that me
series.
and you watch.
Yeah, I mean they just I mean especially to the Kings too. I mean the Kings kind of sketchy, and they're in the same division. They know each other a lot. The Oilers just I mean like they can give up 5 goals in a game like it's nothing. I'm gonna assume that they don't do it tonight, and I think they get the job done against the Kings. But going forward, this team still does scare me. I don't care if they win the series in 5. They're still. I mean, I don't trust this team at all.
Yeah, they need to catch fire, or I definitely wouldn't. I mean, I have them playing Colorado in the Western Conference Finals, and right now, I'd like Colorado to get to the Cup more than Edmonton.
Oh
But
yeah,
I do like Edmonton to close things out tonight. Same thing, obviously on the -1.5, like we said. I think this LA team's good. I just think they're a couple pieces away from hanging with some of these big dogs in the West. They're going to give them a run for their money every time. They did it last year against Edmonton, but I like this series to be wrapped up in 5 games. And then the other matchup that we said, Vancouver leads Nashville 3-2 in their first round matchup. Nashville wins a massive game 5, force that game 7 back in Nashville for game 6, where the Predators will have their backs against the wall with a chance of force a game 7. Do you think there's a chance the Preds can force this game 7, or do you like Vancouver go in there and handle business and force or close this up?
Ah, dude. I did take the Preds last game. I didn't actually take them, but I was texting my buddy about it, and I was like, I think the Preds can keep this series going on the road in this game. And they played well. I mean, they Saros had a great game, and they got the job done in a nice playoff 2-1 battle, but. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the Canucks in this one, and they're just so much better. Like they are just clearly the better
Yeah.
team in the series, and they don't have the goaltending. Even though what's his name, Slavovs,
So Silva, yeah,
whatever the fuck his
Salavs or
name is.
something. Yeah,
He's been playing well. He got a loss last game in a 2-1 game. Obviously not his fault, but I think the Canucks just outmatched the Predators in this series, and
they do.
they already won 2 games in Nashville. I think that they get the job done again, and then they get ready for Edmonton next round.
I'm gonna back these Predators one last time. I think they can. This is a huge game on home ice. I think it's what Friday night this game is. I think it's not for a couple of days, 2 days at least, and then
Is
uh,
it? Yeah, you're right. Wow.
didn't they play last night?
Yeah, they did.
So they're all they're that's a flight and a half coming back from
Yeah, I didn't even think about how
Vancouver.
much
Yeah,
of a travel that is.
it doesn't surprise me they give them the 2 days because then Game 7 would probably be Sunday. Does it
Yeah,
say?
they don't give him the 3 days again. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Sunday. But
Yeah, I like this series to get to 7. I originally picked Nashville in 6. Obviously, they needed to pick up another game. They win a huge game 5 to stay alive here. The story of this series is going to come down to game 4. You blow a 3. What was it? 4-1, 3-1 lead, 3-0
3-1 with
lead,
3-1 with what, like 45 seconds left, I think? Or
and
no,
you
maybe
give
it
it.
was more, but
No, it really was that it was that little, and you let up 2 goals, and then as soon as they tie the game with 8 seconds left, Vancouver's winning that game.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's over at that point, but
Yeah,
there was 2 minutes left, but I mean, you can't lose that, man. Like you
no.
can't. Playoff game, you're on your home
Not on
ice,
home ice. You
and
cannot lose that game on
and
home
it's
ice.
for this it's for the sweep on your own home ice. Like
Yeah,
you already lost the first game on your home ice. You have to win that. You're up 3-1.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the game that's going to change this entire series. And if they lose this in 6, it still changes the entire series. They lose it in 7, the series should have already been over. They probably should have won it. But I mean, that's
Nashville, if they can just manage to close out that game, say Game 5 goes exactly how it did, they're coming home with a series with a chance to
that's
close
what
out the
I'm
series.
it's exactly what I'm saying. Like Nashville lost this series on that game alone. Especially
Yeah,
with how game 5 went. You win game 5.
yeah.
So I mean that definitely was a series changer, momentum changer. But I mean, this Canucks team just has so much firepower up front. They even have it on the defensive side with a player like Quinn Hughes who can be that offensive factor and how good he is on defense. I mean, Canucks are shuffling goalies and they're getting the job done. I know they kind
Yeah,
of
they're
outmatched the
truly just
Preds, but
plugging anyone in and getting it done.
then again, you have Saros in the other net, and he can take over a game whenever he wants as well. So
Yeah,
again, I would not be surprised if the Preds even win this series, but I think that they can definitely force a game 7. But
yeah.
I mean, it can go either way. This is a series that I can't really get
Once
a
once
grasp
it
on.
gets to game 7, like, same thing as you kinda said, Vancouver's already won 2 in Nashville. Vancouver or Nashville's won 2 in Vancouver. This has been
Yeah,
another one
you're
where
right.
a lot of the road teams have won games
You're
except for
right.
game 1.
You're right. Definitely. See, like home ice also isn't like it's not. I feel like it's so much more important in the NBA.
I was gonna say in the NFL,
Oh, yeah, definitely in the NFL, but I'm
but
talking
I'm
about like the
saying,
two
like,
playoffs right now. Like
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I think that home field,
I
home
also think
ice.
it's like, dude, like, once like, we always say with college basketball, like, home court, home court. I just think, like, once you get to the playoffs, these teams that are still sticking around, they're so good, like, it matters, but, like, you see what the Avalanche went in and did to Winnipeg during that whiteout. Everyone talks about, "Oh, that's the craziest, playoff whatever, crowd." It's like, some of these teams, you can just tell they just don't give a fuck, like,
No, and I mean if you're
they see
playing
it
that
every
well,
night too, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the other thing is that, like, when you're like, the NHL, you can just block that shit out. The NBA,
oh,
you're
yeah,
on the court. Like, you
yeah,
have to sit and look at a person who's,
yep.
like, face to face with you. Like,
You can hear everything they're
The
saying too,
NHL, you
like,
can block that shit out. You don't have to really pay attention to it, and, I mean,
yeah.
these guys are just so good, they can just take over, but
It's definitely nice to be on your home ice, but I don't think it's as big as a factor as, like, people make it seem, you know what I
agreed.
mean?
100%. 100%.
Especially in the playoffs. All right, yeah, we'll do the draft after the NBA. We'll keep rolling with the playoffs. NBA will start out west, where there's already 3 series wrapped up. That's why I want to start out west because it's a little more bit more already taken care of. Minnesota completes a series sweep of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns through dominant performances by Anthony Edwards and averaging 31, 8, and 6.3 assists per game in round 1. Can this success carry over against these defending champion Denver Nuggets? What do you think?
Yes, 1,000%. I had this conversation with my buddy the other day. He said, "This Nuggets T-Wolves series is gonna be insane," and I was
This
like,
is must see TV for me. These are
and
like my 2 favorite teams this year, just because I love Jokic, and then I've obviously just been on the Timberwolves this year.
I said, "I really think the T-Wolves take it," and
How
don't get
many
me
games?
wrong, I am not discrediting the Nuggets at all right now, but, I mean, that
6?
series against the Lakers could easily have flipped like nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like,
And I
the
hate to be the
Lakers,
guy that's I hate to be the guy that's like, "Yeah, the Lakers led for majority of the series." Like,
that's what I was gonna say, but, like, it's
I know, but
true,
like,
bro. Like, it's
I know. But like last year, everyone was saying that was the closest sweep ever. It's like you still got swept. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
still coming out on the
And
wrong
I'm
side
not
of this thing.
exactly.
Lakers blew multiple double-digit leads in third quarters and fourth quarters in that series. It's like they just weren't when it came push comes to shove. Like Denver was the better team in that series.
Well, they had the
You know what I mean?
support. They have the support. I mean, Michael Porter
Exactly.
Jr. was shooting like 56%. Like,
You
it's
get
like
2 game winners from Jamal Murray. That makes it a
first
5-game
time
series a lot
first
better.
time a player has ever done that in the same
Yeah.
series, hit 2 game winners in the final 5 seconds. But, my point is that this Nuggets team is beatable. It's not like last year where
I
you were
think they are
waiting
too.
for them to walk through the West and get the job done. This team is definitely beatable, and you saw it last round. The Lakers could have been the better team. That series easily could have been flipped. You could be seeing a game 7. But,
And if there's any team I think that can do it, it's this Minnesota team. You have Gobert and Cat down low. It's not just one big like in the Lakers. Like obviously they have LeBron, but like Anthony Davis's job was Jokic. If Jokic was getting around
and
Anthony
then what do
Davis,
you
who
do
was
about
going in?
Aaron what do you do about Aaron Gordon? What do you do about Michael
Exactly.
Porter Jr.?
Exactly.
The T-Wolves have those weapons. They have
They
the
have
guys that
the
can
answers
match
for
up.
that. Like Nas Reed coming off the bench, a bigger guy. Like Cat, Gobert, Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind right now. If they can get a somewhat of a performance out of Jaden McDaniels that they've had, or throughout these 4 games, he's had a hell of a series. This team's clicking. They're just that fun team that no one saw coming. Obviously, I know they're a 3 seed. Everyone wanted to hate on them because they're young and
I did.
inexperienced.
I
Yeah,
literally did. I will be the first one to say that. I did
yeah,
not see them coming out of the first round.
yeah.
But
I just think the Phoenix team is like that's Brooklyn 2.0.
first
That's
of
literally
all,
what.
I mean, it's just like it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, there's 0 defense altogether on that team,
Yeah,
and it's just a bunch of ISO ball. Like, what are you gonna do? Walk up the
dude.
court and just, like, play one-on-one the entire time? Like, a team like Minnesota who plays defense so well and they're so fundamental,
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore. It's not 2017. The NBA
I
is
was gonna say it's not. It's such a different game. It's not just get 3 stars and fill the rest of your roster with minimum league or minimum contract players.
but
Like
the thing was that worked 7 years ago. The NBA has advanced so much in that time that, like, you can't do that. You cannot build super
now,
teams. It's not a
now
recipe
you
for
need
success anymore.
one A grade star, a second grade star, and like 4 good
The
role players.
bench, you need the role
Yeah,
players, you need those supporting guys that are gonna get the job done,
yeah.
and the Lakers didn't have that, there was no way for it. But
Like
the
the Knicks,
T-Wolves,
Josh Hart, like all
dude,
the
the supporting players, like, even, like, Deuce
DiVincenzo,
McBride,
like
dude, like,
yeah,
he plays the final 8 minutes of every game because of his
he's my
defense and how
favorite Nick,
hard he
just because
works.
he's from West Virginia.
Obviously, because he's from West Virginia, yeah, but, like, dude, he's, like and you have Dante DiVincenzo not even playing, that's how deep this Knicks team is, and that's why they're getting
Yeah.
success, but obviously, that's a different story right now, but
Yeah. How many games do you think? Are you saying Minnesota in 6? Can they win this on home field, home court, whatever the fuck it is? I think they get game 1 or 2 in Denver.
I'm gonna
They didn't struggle with Denver this year during the regular season. They had their number.
I don't think Denver's unbeatable at home either.
I don't think. Yeah, let me look at the season series before I say that they didn't struggle with them. Because they came down to the end. There was a game with like each team had 2 games to go, and that game was basically for who got the division and got the 2 seed. You know what I mean?
Fuck, it doesn't say. You're gonna have to go through it.
No, I'm gonna try to find that game whenever that would have been. When did the playoffs start? The 20th?
Mm, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was the
Hold on,
20th.
I can find this real quick.
Look up T Wolves Nuggets, whatever. Oh, wait, I think I'm close to it.
Two and
Here it
one.
is. Nuggets win 2-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm at right now.
Oh, it was a
Two
split,
two,
2-2.
2-2. Yeah.
It was a split,
I mean,
2-2.
Denver.
Timberwolves 1-1 in Denver. Timberwolves 1-1 at home. They both went 1-1 on the home and or 2-2. I can't talk. They both won in each city.
All I'm saying
Jesus,
is before
so hard.
before the playoffs started, Denver was like, "All right, we get past the first round. I think we're good
This is a
until
cakewalk. Yeah.
yeah." Now I guarantee you they're in
They were looking at that bracket like the Edmonton Oilers are at that next matchup between Nashville and Vancouver.
exactly, and now it's a completely different scenario. Minnesota, I mean, I'd take them over OKC any day.
I would too. That's the matchup I'm hoping we get.
Yeah.
For how much I like Luca and like the Mavericks, and I'd love to see him go to an NBA Finals. I'd much rather see.
I don't think that team has it this year anyway.
No, I don't think so either.
But
I
yeah, I
just
mean, the West has been good, and it's only going to get better. I mean, this is going
yeah.
to be a great second round.
Yeah, that's definitely the matchup to watch. Obviously, it's one of the only ones that are locked in officially. But I mean, even just looking at the hypotheticals, that's definitely the best matchup in my opinion in the second round. But we'll head to the Oklahoma City Thunder completing the sweep of the Pelicans, becoming the youngest team to ever win a playoff series. OKC did not look like a younger team once these games started, picking up where they left off from this regular season. Key performances from Shy and the rest of the team. Jalen Williams had a huge part in this series.
Lou Dort
Uh,
on defense.
yeah,
Don't
this
overlook
young
that one.
team, they really are just like a younger version of the Denver team. Like they don't have that true guy. I guess their guy is Shy Gilgeous-Alexander. It's not a center that can do it all. It's kind of just they're so deep. They have so many young players. I don't know what they're going to look like against if they get the Clippers. I think that's a tough matchup for them in the second round.
Well, here's the thing about that first series is that I mean, you're going it's 0 experience against 0 experience. Who did the Pelicans have? CJ
They beat
McCollum, who
they
shit
beat
the bed
CJ
the entire
McCollum
series.
and Larry Nance.
Yeah, I mean, and Brandon Ingram, who I don't even think has any playoff experience, but I mean, OKC took
He
care
was
of
on the
business.
Lakers. They were
We
terrible.
expected them to take care of business. They looked really good, though. They looked great, and there was obviously a lot of uncertainties about a young team going into the playoffs like that. They got obviously the best matchup they could probably get without being the Lakers or the Warriors because you don't want to see those veterans in the first round.
Yeah,
But they took care of business and they got the job done, and they got the support from all their players. Chad had a great series. Like I said, Lou Dort absolutely locked down Brandon Ingram. He was in shambles. I think he shot under 30% in the series.
yeah, yeah.
Shy doing his thing. They just got the help from all around. I think that they're bound for the Western Conference Finals. I think whoever they run into in the Western Conference Finals, they will lose to. But
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. I don't really think that they're gonna have a tough time against the
I
Clippers
don't
in the Mavs
I
because
just don't think I mean, for good reason. I don't think it's gonna be as easy, meaning I think it'll take maybe 5, 6 games, and I think 6 is being more generous.
yeah, I mean definitely. I wouldn't see that either of those series over in 5 to be honest. But I think that they will be the better team in both those
They're
series.
so good
And
on they're so good on their home floor that, like, I think they no matter which one of these teams they get, Dallas or uh, LA, I think they could go up 2-0. It's just it's not like you if there's one thing you could point a finger at with a young inexperienced team, it's like when you're up 2-0, you can't go back to LA and let them win 2 straight games. You know what I mean? Like you steal one, you come back for game 5, let's try to wrap this up. Okay, if not, back to LA for game 6. Like you have 3 chances to win one game. Like, you know what I mean? They just got to win their first 2 games on their home floor. I love this Thunder team. I want to see them in the Western Conference Finals. I
and
just it's scaring me. All these young teams are doing good. I know that's like the new age NBA, but I'm waiting for one of these teams that we've seen or been waiting on, like this Clippers team with Paul George, James Harden, all these stars to
the
possibly do something. Like,
the nerves
I'm,
are I think the nerves are gone though. I mean, that's the
oh
whole thing
yeah,
going in with a young team. And
that's why they got a good matchup. They
you
didn't want
said
the Lake. They would have lost to the Lakers.
you said going up 2-0, third game is huge. They won that third game by 21 points against the Pelicans. I know the
That's what I said.
Pelicans are a lot easier of a competition
Because
against the
wasn't
Clippers
game
or the
2 the
Mavs.
close one and we took them?
No, game 1 was close. But that's when we took them. They won by
We
2
took them
points.
the first half and they won by 2 points.
Right. And game 2 they won by 32 points.
I
Game
remember
3 by
last week on the
21.
podcast, I was like, they're gonna smoke them tonight, and it was like an 8.5 point spread, and I took it. And then I don't remember what game that was, though, 3 or 4.
Yeah, they
3
absolutely
because we took them in game 4 on the
yeah.
card.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, this team, I mean, they keep proving people wrong. They proved me wrong. But I don't know. They're definitely going to have a lot different of a matchup in the second round.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think the Western, like you have an Eastern Conference team, Ace has an Eastern Conference team. I think the Western matchups are so like much more exciting. Like I don't like watching this Bucks team. Like this Pacers team is Cleveland,
I mean,
Orlando. Like that's a
the
snooze fest.
the 3-6-4-5 in the East just seems like so. You just know none of those teams are going anywhere.
Exactly.
Like Bucks, Cavs, Pacers, Magic. Neither of them are getting past the next
Like
round, in my opinion.
there's teams in the West that if you slid them over to the East as a 7 seed or an 8 seed, they might have had a better fighting chance. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
1,000%, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Lakers, Suns.
You throw the Lakers in that.
If you put the Mavericks over there, like they'd be right there with your Knicks as probably the 2 seed or 3
They'd
seed.
probably be better. They'd probably be
Yeah.
better.
I just think that the West is kind of back to where like the NBA does shift so often. Like when we were younger, it was all the West was so good and it was just LeBron running through the East. Then the East got so good with like Philly, Boston, Miami at those years. Now
Even
it's
when
like,
like the Pacers were good with Paul George, like
yeah,
they
Lance
East got good
Stevenson,
for a
Paul
little
George,
while.
Hibbert. That was a good team.
But yeah, the
But
West has definitely been predominantly for our
yeah,
lives the powerhouse.
yeah.
But yeah, the
Um,
West is going to be great for sure.
we'll get into some of these Eastern matchups. Celtics lead the Heat 3-1, where Boston will have a chance to close out Miami tonight and await the winner of Cleveland, Orlando. I do think they handle business tonight. I might bet the -14. Do you have any
Yeah,
opinion
I
on that?
mean they fucked around and they lost. I just think it's so funny how after game 1 there was so much about because they won by like 30 points or whatever. After game
Yeah, it
1
was
there
like
was
this
like,
isn't even a
is
series.
Boston gonna lose a game this entire playoffs? Or are they gonna lose a game at home this entire playoffs? And there's odds for it on everything. And then they fucking dropped one to the 8th seed Miami Heat.
Best was
Like
it was the game after people were posting.
it's just like I don't I genuinely think the Celtics team is beatable, and I don't know if that's me just being hopeful that the Knicks can get there at some point and get a good matchup against them and win a few games, but
They are getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like they're not going to lose to Cleveland or Orlando.
absolutely not. They will get there 100%.
Yeah,
But I think that I mean like they're like people are acting like they're a shoo-in to win the NBA Finals. Like you're gonna
the
run
only
into a
only
gauntlet in the
shot.
West regardless who you
Yeah,
play.
they're going to come in. They're running into the best team that came out of the better conference in the NBA Finals if they get there. But to your point, if they get to, so we're both saying they get there to the Eastern Conference Finals, they could. I seriously could see them lose to your Knicks. They play a better team game. They could isolate or I just combine Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They could isolate Jason Tatum, make it become Jaylen Brown's team. You saw what Derek White did. Yeah, he had a career night. Like I almost bet Derek White's points under tonight. I'm like, this shit just doesn't happen.
You
Like,
should. That's a great play.
they took away Tatum. They took away, it's really high, by the way, if you want to look into that. And the other one I liked was under on threes. But you take away Tatum, this team is so different. And it's like, I think your Knicks, they play so good defensively. I think obviously Brunson. I don't. Do the Celtics have an answer for Brunson? Are they going to put Holiday on him?
They do have. I mean, they could put Holiday on him. But first of all, there is no answer for Brunson. You can only contain him. Same thing
That's what
with,
I mean. Derek White, like that's what I'm saying. Like who's going on him?
and we have the extra guys. Where like, if Brunson's not doing everything, we can figure it out elsewhere. And you don't have Porzingis. Say you don't have Porzingis to start that series. We have two big men that can get the job done, and they will dominate Al Horford
I like
between the two of them.
what's his name, Robinson.
Mitch Robinson, yeah, he's a
Yeah,
dog. He's been taking care of Joel this series. Obviously, not taking care of him, but like containing him to the most that he
yeah,
can.
yeah.
I think that the Knicks can, without Porzingis, they can match up really well against the Celtics team, and they could definitely. I mean, even next series, I could see the Cavs win 2 games against the Celtics.
That would be big.
I'm not gonna
That
say
would
they're
be
gonna
big.
win the series, but I think they can definitely steal 2 and make them sweat.
Do you think the Cavs wrap that series? Here, I'll just get into this one. Cavs lead the Magic 3 games to 2 as the series heads back to Orlando. Game 6 in Orlando. Do you think this young Magic team can force a Game 7 back in Cleveland?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, dude, that
Do you
that
think
game,
just home teams win every game this series?
those games were so lopsided in Orlando, games 3 and 4, that I cannot see Cleveland going on the road and beating them in game 6. But I
They
don't
got the
think
job done at home,
I
so it doesn't
just
matter.
I don't think Orlando's going to be able to go into Cleveland and get a win either. Even though
I
last game
agree.
was very good, it was a close game. Evan Mobley with a huge game-winning block on Franz Wagner, but this is a good series, better than I expected. And after the first 2 games, I think a lot of people expected it to kind of get out of control. But Orlando's young and they're playing really good
I
basketball.
had I had Orlando plus 5.5. Was that last
You're
night?
big on this Orlando team, yeah, and you're definitely
Yeah.
right about them. They're definitely not no fluke. And we all said coming into the playoffs that like Orlando's lucky to be here. They had a great regular season, but they're done in the playoffs. They could win
They
this
could.
series. They could
They
definitely win
could.
this series.
It,
I don't
but
think they do, but they
I
could
think
easily.
they would truly get swept by the Celtics.
Yeah,
I would actually write that off as a
yeah.
sweep
I
right
think
now.
the Celtics are hoping that the Magic win. I really don't think the
Yeah.
Celtics care who they play, but I
It'd be
think
a cool
that
uniform series. I will say that Celtics versus Magic. If you want to look at something cool about that series, it would definitely be the uniforms.
yeah, for
But
sure.
I think Orlando ran into a tough matchup. Obviously, this is a younger team, but like Cleveland plays so defensively, but Orlando does the same thing. So
What
this is like two defensive teams playing each other. But Orlando has such young players that they're still making like these mistakes that Cleveland's been here, done that. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, like these guys played in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
they've been here before. They know the
in games
intensity.
1 and 2,
They
you could
played in New
tell how
York.
inexperienced Orlando was.
They had to play in the Garden.
Yeah.
So they know the intensity and everything. Yeah, Orlando was obviously stunned. They had no idea what to expect. 97-83 in game 1,
And then
final
you did
score.
it. Did exactly what you need to do. Come home, win 2 games, win your home games, and that I think that's what I said last week. I was like, this series isn't going to start till a home team loses a game, and I truly don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't
I
think it
think
will
Cleveland
either.
wins in 7.
I agree with that. I think Orlando definitely wins game 6, but I think Cleveland takes care of business in 7.
What's the line on that game 6?
Uh,
Is that
I'm gonna
tomorrow?
say Magic -2,
I'm going to say -3. Yeah.
-4.5.
Ooh, that's a little steep, but I'll probably take it.
I don't know, dude. I mean, you look at the last 2 games they played at home. They won by 30 and 30 again.
Yeah, that's why it was scary when I took the +5.5 last night because
You figured
um
Cleveland was just gonna take care of business at home.
no, I took the +5.5 and I was like, damn, I probably should just take the money line. Like Cleveland's either gonna blow them out like they did in what was it, game 1,
Game
or
game 1
Orlando's
and
gonna win this game outright. And
yeah,
I was like, fuck it, just take the points. Thank God they lost by 2.
that was a great play, yeah. But, that was a great
I
game.
think Ace had Cleveland minus like 4.5. He bought like a point or something.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy points either, but, I mean, sometimes it works out.
Yeah. I was gonna tease them with the Bucks, and I should have done it, but I mean I hit anyway, so it would have been the same payout.
Speaking of the Bucks, let's get into that series.
Yeah, we'll jump back to your Knicks. Pacers lead the Bucks 3 games to 2, with the series heading to Indiana for Game 6. Do you like this young Pacers team to close this out? I think they kind of fucked up not closing it out in Game 5, giving that Bucks a chance. Is Lillard coming back? Is there any chance here?
So Doc he has to say it, I think, but he's like, yeah, Giannis and Dame are both like on the verge of coming back. I think Giannis is done for the season. I honestly think he has no chance of coming back.
I truly think the same thing. I think if the Bucks win this series somehow, I think you would hear Giannis is out for game one.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. But I think this is over in 6 as well. I mean, Indiana takes care of business at home. They're the better team also. Like I think they looked at the
I haven't
scouting.
watched a single game this series.
I watched game. I don't
I've been
know.
betting the Pacers. Like I've been betting the Magic and Wolves.
Yeah, the Pacers, like, I mean, dude, they're a good team. They really are. They have a lot of help. They have Nesmith, they have Siakam, they have Halliburton,
My
obviously.
favorite player on their team's hurt, Matherin. I like him.
Benedict Mathurin, yeah,
Yeah,
he's a dog
he's
too. They get the depth and they put the ball in the hoop. They score a lot of freaking points, and if they're able to do that against this Bucks team again next game, Bucks don't have an answer. I know Middleton's been playing really well. Obviously with the loss of Dame and Giannis, he has to step up. But I mean, last game was kind of a fluke. Indiana was like, we have this in the bag. They're missing their two best players. Shit the bed. They're gonna have their head screwed on for this game, and I think it's
yeah,
over in 6.
yeah. I think coming home, this is huge. That place is going to be rocking. When's the last time the Pacers have won a playoff series since that team we were
Oh my
talking about with
god, yeah,
Paul George?
probably 2014, 2013.
13, 14? Yeah.
But, I
Uh,
called this one, I did, I said
yeah.
Pacers series.
It just seems so shaky to start, and then now you get all the injury news and Dame's out. It's like they just have to handle business on home floor, and they can like there's a we'll get into your Knicks series. There's a chance that goes 7, and they could wait on this next series.
Yeah, well, okay, let me hear your thoughts on the series before I dive into this one.
All right. Knicks lead 3 games to 2, heading back to Philly. As the 76ers win a huge game 5 in MSG to force that game 6. Tyrese Maxey takes over with 2 minutes left to force the overtime and eventually secure the win for the Sixers. Um, I'm still on the Knicks. I think you guys can go into Philly and get this win based on solely off what I saw from the Knicks faithful in Philadelphia in game 4. I think you will see
You
the
mean you
exact
you mean the Knicks' second home? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, literally it looked like a home game for the Knicks.
yeah.
I think if I'm not even kidding, I think if they do that exact same thing, not like that's the only chance you have, but like that got under the Sixers' skin more than anything that the players could do. The first thing Embiid said after the game was, "You guys can't let this happen. That's disgrace. Like, play the fucking game, dude. You be
You're
good.
worrying
People want
about
to."
the crowd, man? Like
Yeah, like seriously, like that. It's back to like what we were saying. Like in hockey, you can zone that shit out. In basketball, they hear everything you say,
Yeah.
no matter how much they try to keep a straight face and like not pay attention. They hear everything those guys are yelling in the first bowl.
You wanna I don't know if you saw this, you wanna hear this, though? Michael
What's the
Root
line in Game 6?
for 3, 3.5, 3.
I
Looking
like
at
the Knicks. I like the Knicks. I'd probably take the points though.
I think they get the job done as well, but
They're
this
underdogs, right?
yes.
Yeah,
But,
I'd take the points, but I think they win the game.
speaking of, the
Did
crowd,
Michael Rubin do?
Michael Rubin and the Sixers ownership group are buying 2,000 tickets to ensure Sixers fans are in the building for Game 6 and limit the inventory for unpleasant Knicks fans to purchase on the resale market.
Dude, the
You're
best
that
part.
worried. You're
Yeah.
that worried. And then another thing, purchasing by billing state for Game 6 of Knicks at 76ers. 34% from Pennsylvania, 24 from New York, 18 from New Jersey. You're outnumbered. You're almost outnumbered. You got to assume half of Jersey is going to be New York fans as well. I
Yeah.
mean, the Knicks faithful does show up everywhere.
Yeah, I would
They
say
will.
Jersey's probably split between the Philly
But
and
you got South Jersey. That's obviously going to be all Philly. But I mean, I'm sure it's a good amount of New York fans as well. But I mean, they show up, they show out, and I mean, when you have to pay $450 to get into the Garden for a game, and you can go to Philly, drive 2 hours to go to Philly, and pay $95 for a game, why the hell wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah.
But I think they get it over in 6 as well. I think that Tyrese Maxey is an absolute dog, like
Yeah, he's
absolute
good.
dog, dude. And
He
it
was so
wasn't even
good.
last game. I know what he did last game was incredible. He had 48 points, 49
Yeah.
points, whatever. Obviously hit
He's
that
been
buzzer.
good since Kentucky. We saw this coming. I just wish he was on any team other than the Sixers. I
He
do like him with Embiid. I just don't like the Sixers as a team.
He is a superstar. He will be a superstar in this league for the next 10 years, and I have nothing but high praise for him. Sorry he's gonna have to lose this series in 6 games, but he has a great upside for him in his career, and I really do like him. He's humble and everything. He's great, but I think it'll be over in 6. Give me the Knicks in 6. I talked a lot of shit. I really hope that they don't blow this.
Who do you think has a better future, Halliburton or Maxey?
Maxey by far. I think Halliburton is a fraud. Don't even let me get into Halliburton
I
right
kind of
now.
think he is too. He's like a fan favorite because he's like he won that tournament, loves the or won the or that All Star thing. It was in Indy. the whole thing was like centered around him, so they were putting all the media around him. But like,
Dude, have you
call
watched
me
the Pacers
crazy, like
game? Have you watched one of the games in that series?
no, I
He's a
just no.
spaz, dude. He's just out there running in circles trying to find like a sick pass to give or a highlight
Yeah,
reel. Doesn't put the ball up. I'm like, dude, what are you out there doing? Like,
I'd
you look
even
like an
take like
idiot.
he's a little bit older, but like I'd still take like De'Aaron Fox over him. Is that
Yeah,
crazy?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. Halliburton got so much hype for it. He had don't get me wrong, he had a great like 20-game stretch, but he got
it was literally just that in-season tournament. He went off in every in-season tournament
yeah,
game.
it was a little after that too.
Yeah.
He did have like a good stretch, but I mean, like everyone overreacted, acting like he's the next best thing. Like, relax, dude. Like, we know how many people go on 20-game stretches. Jeremy Lin's next best thing at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not big on Tyrese Halliburton.
All right, we will. That's our recap. NBA and NHL first round. Looking into some of these second round matchups as well. Real quick, gonna jump into. Obviously, we had the NFL draft last Thursday. Gonna go through some of these top picks and then any other ones we want to touch on. Mackie, I'll just rip through these top. We'll say 10. Number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. Number 3, Aces, New England Patriots. Select Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Cardinals. Joe Alt, Chargers. Malik Neighbors, Giants. J.C. Latham, Tennessee Titans. The shocking pick of Michael Penix Jr. to the Falcons at number 8. Bears go and get a receiver at number 9 in Romo Dunze, and the Vikings trade up to lock down J.J. McCarthy at number 10. Um, did the Cowboys have a first round pick?
Yeah, they got
Tyler Guyton, the guard, the
Tyler
tackle,
Guyton. Yes, yes,
and
yes.
Steelers got a guard in Fatanu from Washington. Both just kind of filtering up that offensive line. Steelers did the same thing in the second round. Zach Frazier from West Virginia. I like the Roman Wilson pick from Michigan, going kind of leaning on my Steelers, but I think the Steelers had a hell of a draft. Obviously, a lot of these loser draft analysts seem to think so too. So when their grades are good for your team, you like them. When they're not, you don't think they're as smart. But I definitely like what the Steelers are doing from an approach standpoint in the draft. Um, got a lot of they're just building this offensive line, and obviously we have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Neither of them are looking like long-term answers for the Steelers. As they didn't pick up Justin Fields' fifth-year option was pretty interesting to me. I thought they were going to do that, but you saved 20 some million there. I like what these Steelers are doing. What do you think about your Cowboys bringing back Zeke Elliott and not going after a guy like Blake Corum? Like, what
I
was expected?
I think they've kind of had this plan for a while now without going after any of the big names. They turned down Henry before, or they didn't even turn him down. They just never reached out. They had this plan for a while,
I
and
think it's better to say you never reached out than to reach out and get shut down.
yeah,
Personally,
well, obviously, yeah, but they never had interest in it. They didn't want to pay the big bucks for the running back, and I understand they have a lot of fucking people to pay, but they got him for $3 million, which is crazy because they're actually paying him $9 million. So you're paying him $6 million for his last contract and $3 million for his new contract. So
really, you
yeah,
guys are still paying him from when he left?
we're paying him double from his old contract to three than what we're paying him now for him to play now, which is
That's half
insane.
the reason. That's half the reason they brought him back. They were Jerry Jones is like, if I'm paying you, you're gonna fucking work
You're
for
gonna
me.
play for me, yeah. But I like it. I think you know he knows the offense, he knows the team. We know him. He'll be a good addition. He's not who he used to be, obviously, but he can still get the job done.
Oh yeah, he's still gonna get the job done. I
And
think.
I mean, Dak throws the ball 40 times a game, dude. Like he's not. It's not a run heavy offense where you need a running back like that. I don't think our offense is a problem. I don't think that's what needs to be switched up. But I like what the Cowboys did. It's just, I mean, I have no faith in this team, no matter what.
You guys didn't need much. You have the quarterback. You have the receiver. You have
We
your
needed
running
the
back.
tackle.
You don't have a running back in Pollard. I almost said that. You still have Ferguson. Yeah, you guys just need to do what the Steelers are doing. Just build the offensive line. Like
Mhm.
it's almost like I like when it's like when in doubt, pick an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. You will never be mad at that pick.
Right, exactly. You
Like
lose Tyron Smith, you gotta get somebody.
yeah,
But
like anyone can take a chance on one of these flashy receivers or like a corner that is could get burnt every fucking play in their rookie year, and it's like everyone's calling him a bust 3 weeks into his NFL career. It's like, dude, you're throwing a 19-year-old guy that played 2 years of college football out to the fucking. He's guarding
up
Devontae
up
Adams on
against Pat
Sunday
Mahomes,
afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, how do you expect this guy to go in there and compete in an NFL game just like
The
snapped
one
his fingers.
the one that I was really surprised that they fell this far um, was he the first defensive player off the board? Damn,
16 or something like that.
17, Dallas Turner, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, 'cause I
Or
remember
Byron Murphy was the first.
15.
Wait, no, there was 3, it went 3. I don't know why I thought Dallas Turner was gonna get picked in, like, the top. I thought he was gonna go to Atlanta at 8.
Well, nobody expected there to be 13 straight offensive picks, and nobody expected. Yeah, I mean,
Then
nobody.
everyone was scrambling for the defensive guys. Colts go and get that Latu. Seahawks go get Byron Murphy from Texas. Vikings trade up to get Dallas Turner. And the one that I was waiting one more pick that I would have loved to get is Jared Verse from Florida State. The Rams got him the pick before us.
I
I
did
think
see
he's gonna,
that.
I think he's gonna be a fucking animal from Florida State. He's so good. I think that's a good spot for him to go to out there with the Rams. He wouldn't have had a really spot here with Highsmith just getting his contract and Watt, but I'd never say I'm also the type of person that's like take the best player available. Like I don't care who's on your
Yeah,
roster.
definitely,
Take the best player
definitely.
available. Like I don't care if you need a guard. Like if you're reaching on a guard or you can take an edge rusher that's the best player sitting on the board, like I'm taking the best player. Like we'll figure the contracts and shit out later. Like you can make him an outside linebacker.
Exactly. You can always plug him in somewhere else if he's the best player on the board. He's
Or
probably.
he puts some weight on, get your ass on the D line. You're playing D end. Like
Yeah, agreed.
these guys will figure it out. That was the
Um,
one that kind of killed me. I wanted I would do when Dallas Turner started to fall and fall and fall, and then I saw the Vikings have traded for this pick. I was like, here it is. He's right here.
yeah, he's getting picked up.
Yeah,
What do you think
he was wearing
of?
that ugly ass green suit. You see that dumbass suit he was wearing?
No,
It was like pistachio green, dude. It was terrible. He went on that. Did you see CJ Stroud and Michael Parsons on that like
yeah, yeah.
draft call thing? Like they
No.
were reacting to the
Dude,
picks.
I love them. They
Dude,
go at it
they
like
are so
they're like a
they're so funny.
they're like they friendly go at it, but they do go at it. It's so
I like
funny,
the
dude.
after this. I'll get to the other one that I like the clip that I saw, but they like FaceTime Dallas Turner or Micah like got a call from Dallas Turner, like called him into the show. And Stroud Parsons asked him something like, oh, congrats, that's huge, congratulations, all this shit. And CJ Stroud goes, dude, you arguably have the worst outfit at draft night. It's really
No
just
way! I didn't
yeah,
see that.
yeah, dude, it was something like that. It was so funny.
That's so
And
funny.
then the other one that I saw was I don't know what if it was the same. Are they on like a podcast together? Or
Yeah,
they just hang out on
they do more than just the draft night. They've
That's
done a
weird. Ohio State and Penn
Penn
State
State.
to Dallas and Houston. Like they're not in the same conference, but like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
that
weird.
is weird, but I think they're both like vocal. Like
Yeah, and like
Parsons has his
offense,
podcast.
defense. Like it's not like they work out together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's like, oh
it
Stroud,
is
come
really
throw
it's a
balls for me.
it's
Like
a really weird combination. Maybe they
yeah,
like played in high school together or something.
the one the one that I saw was someone asked Mike Parsons, "What do you think you would average in an NBA game?" He goes, "Oh, I'm getting 20." And CJ Stroud literally just goes, "Oh my."
Yeah, dude, they always just roll their eyes at each other. Did you see the
He's
one
like,
where they were talking about how stacked Ohio State's offense was, and Mike was like, "Damn, dude, and no championships, no Big Ten championships." He's like, "Shut up, bro. What did you do?"
"Yeah, what did you win at Penn State? Nothing." Like
That's so funny though. They just go at it.
yeah, that I didn't know that they have like a show together. I thought it was just something for the draft.
I don't know if they have a show together, but I know Micah Parsons has his show, and
And he
I
probably
know
just always has CJ
and
Stroud on.
CJ Stroud likes to do podcasts. He's done a few, but
Or they probably both work out in like Florida and they're not even in
yeah,
Dallas and Houston.
yeah.
Like they're
There's
you know what I mean?
there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, that's good. Good
yeah,
content.
not much in the world of baseball. We have
Oh
our
yeah, what do
power
you think
rankings that
of
we didn't review on any
one
sport.
one thing I wanted to ask you was what do you think of JJ McCarthy to the Vikings?
I think that's the most expected spot that he could have went to.
Do you
Do you
think
think so?
you like what do you think Justin Jefferson does with this? Do you think he wants out?
I think if things
If you're
get
Justin
ugly,
Jefferson, you do not want that's not who you wanted as your
no,
quarterback.
no. I think if things get ugly in the first couple weeks of the season, like
He's gonna
I
get vocal
yeah.
for sure.
Receivers
I
do it
agree.
every year. There's always a guy that does
Especially
it.
like him, like he just like he's allowed to, man. Like
Yeah, you can't waste his
give
talent.
him a damn good quarterback. I mean, you can't waste his years.
The worst part is he's looking at his teammate, his old college teammate Jamar Chase with fucking Joe Burrow his whole career.
And he
Been
wants
to
to
a
be there.
Super Bowl, like
He even said he
yeah.
was jealous.
Believe me, I do not want him to go to Cincinnati. That's one last thing I want to deal with twice a year as a Steeler fan is watching them
Listen,
too.
since he would have to give up a lot to get Jamar
Oh,
Chase, Joe
they would
Burrow,
never
and
they would never first round pick for the next 5 years.
or
Or
they would
4
just
years.
wouldn't have a line, or they wouldn't have any
Yeah,
defense, or
yeah,
they would it wouldn't work out.
yeah. They're too smart. No NFL team would actually give up that many picks. The only guy that's worth that is like Mahomes.
Yeah, because you can literally change the game. Justin
Yeah,
Jefferson's a receiver. He can't change. He's not involved in every play. You can't.
yeah,
You can't have that much of an impact.
yeah. All right, real quick for the MLB, we'll go over our power rankings. We kind of went through the NHL and NBA. We don't really need to as much for the
We're good.
playoffs,
Yeah.
but power rankings in the MLB: number 5, the Philadelphia Phillies; number 4, these Cleveland Guardians that keep winning games; number 3, Baltimore Orioles; number 2, the New York Yankees; and the number 1, Atlanta Braves in back-to-back weeks. Um, Cleveland, I don't know if it's because I was with Addison, but I feel like I watched the Cleveland Guardians all last weekend. But dude, they're good. They go into Atlanta, get a series win. Like I'm waiting. You when I got the news that Bieber was done, I was like, oh, this team's gonna kind of filter off. But they're in such a bad division that their matchups that they get every night are friendly for them. They're favored almost every night.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is it's a long season. I don't see this team being at the top by the end of it. But I mean, they're definitely proving a lot of people wrong. And Twins were expected to win this division, and
Yeah,
Guardians are clearly the best team in this division,
yeah.
and I think they'll definitely be in the playoffs. But I don't think that they'll be top 3 team in the league by the end of the season.
No, I agree. I
But
agree.
they definitely have the roster. The bats are going, the pitching's going, even without their ace. I really have nothing bad to say about them. Just yeah, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
hating on them a little.
Yeah, and Philly getting back to, I think they were on our list last week, or maybe not yet. This might be their first time getting back to kind of what we all expected of them. Yankees, Braves. I think we said those two will probably be sitting there most of the year. We did say the Dodgers probably wouldn't fall off this list. They haven't been making too much noise the past couple of weeks, but I think a solid list. Obviously, MLB, like you said, such a long season. Take these for what it's worth. It's obviously, like we said, May first week of May going into the MLB season. We're about a month and a half in. We've seen my Pirates on this list. They're far from here now. Like we said, we'll see how these teams keep up. Obviously, getting MLB plays out, on the social medias whenever we see them. Hit on the Brewers today. What's Aces? What was the other place?
Phillies -1.5. So they're up 2-1 before we started.
Phillies minus one and a
They're
half.
still up
That
two
is
one, top 8.
okay. That's not looking good.
Uh.
So looking like a 1-1 day. Hopefully not.
Not gonna call it yet, but
Yeah,
yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
call it yet, just because they could hit a solo shot. That'd be nice, but not a good
be
chance.
awesome.
But yeah, MLB card's been doing pretty well. NBA card, obviously getting them out there in the NBA playoffs. Haven't had too many NBA plays throughout the regular season, but uh, in the playoffs, obviously locking in on some of these good matchups. NHL, same way, getting a lot of plays out. So make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias. Other than that, I think that's all we got. Gonna try to get a live stream out, get some picks going in the next couple of days to preview some of these second round matchups. But if you got anything else to add, go right ahead.
No, I just saw a report that says the Knicks are willing to offer almost anything to pair Devin Booker and Jalen Brunson. Not the biggest fan of that, but I don't have to get into that now. But that's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't love that first reaction.
Yeah,
I don't love Booker.
dude, what's like? We don't need your points, dude. You're playing zero defense. The Knicks are just so sound defensively. I don't know. I feel like it'll mess things up.
What's crazy is like now that we're going back to basketball, is I look back at like remember when KD was supposed to get and everyone was supposed to go to the Knicks that year when they all went to Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I truly think if KD would have went to the Knicks, he would have never went to Phoenix, and he would still be with the Knicks.
Dude, I think the Knicks would be. He would have excelled in the Knicks.
Yeah,
They would
that's
have
what I'm
won.
saying. This is
And you
he's not.
build around him, and I mean that Knicks team they drafted well as well. So I
He's
mean,
going to be on his sixth team. That's crazy. Like for a superstar like him to be on going on his sixth team, it's like as soon as something doesn't work, he's like, I'm out.
yeah, and it really is killing his legacy because I used to say he was, dude, like coming off of Golden State, he was a top 15 player of all time, and it's
Yeah,
only going down. Like, it's only
it's he. I was going to say he's not helping his case at all.
he's not. He's really not at
And he
all.
just got swept to a younger, like a way young, inexperienced team.
Dude,
Like
he's won 2 playoff rounds since leaving the
since Golden
Warriors.
State, yeah.
Listen, that year that they lost to the Bucks in 7,
If his
whoever
toe
won that
was a size
whoever won
smaller,
that series was gonna win the champ. What'd you say?
I said if his toe was only a half size smaller,
That foot on the line, I
yeah.
forgot about that. But if whoever won that game was gonna win the NBA championship, but I mean he didn't. They lost the game and they
Yeah,
didn't win it, and there's
the Bucks did and they won.
not
Like
adding to your resume, and you haven't done anything since. So on a bunch of
yeah,
super teams nonetheless. So that's
we're definitely gonna dive into. We'll have some fun with some of this NBA offseason rumors and stuff once the playoffs comes to an end. Obviously, LeBron with his $50 million player option for the Lakers to come back or retire. He's been all over the news making all these annoying ass comments, but no shot he retires. But we'll see what comes of this in the next coming weeks. Like I said, make sure you're following us on social medias. Other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week for the podcast. Hopefully, you have us, Jesse and Ace back with us. Get a full crew going, recap round two, look ahead for some of these Eastern and Western Conference matchups for the championships. But other than that, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.